Hi, my name is Miriam Bernabei and I'm a volunteer for the town of Greenburgh. And today I am here with a very special guest, a very talented artist who has an exhibit up here at Town Hall on the second floor gallery. And her name is Miss Tanya Johnson. So welcome, Tanya.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did this all begin? We have, well, tell me first, what is your art form that you are exhibiting in this gallery?
Well, it is a cardboard recycled exhibit. I have Drift Studios, which I created about a year and a half ago, at the beginning of this year. And Drift stands for Designing Reclaimed Items from Trash, so studio. So that's how my studio began. And I've been just collecting pieces of what one person might consider trash, cardboard, frames, plastic, artificial, anything, and turning it into works of art.
Okay, I know you told me you went to college for art. So when did this all begin, working in this medium and creating this?
This started at the beginning of the pandemic. And that was about maybe roughly 4 years ago. We all, in one form or time or another, had to stop work and be at home for 3 months. So I was like, well, what can I do for 3 months that brings me joy? So I started my garden again, and then I started dealing with art again, and I went to school for art, so it just segued back to it.
Right. Wow, it's truly beautiful. And you were talking about the materials that you find. Where do you find those materials?
I find materials all different places. It could be at work in the garbage, it could be at home. It's plastic, it's bag handles that you bring home your groceries or something from the store. I rip those handles off and use the handles. It's burlap, taking each strand of burlap out to create hair. Old jewelry, old hats, and one of the pieces, or two of the pieces, you will see that they're hats that were used, and they're just hats that are cut in half.
Yeah. So you must go through life looking at different pieces and thinking, how can I use that art for my art?
Yeah. Sometimes, I see a piece of cardboard or packing material, and don't throw that away. I can use that. And even though I might not see what it is right then, it will come. So I collect a lot of cardboard.
Yeah, and I see in the notes about your exhibit, it says reclaimed cardboard. And I didn't really understand even what that meant, reclaimed cardboard, like where it comes from and where you get it and how you get that.
Well, I get cardboard from all different types of places. It could be from a store where they separate their products on the shelf. It could be from packing material that is, for instance, if I got a monitor and there's packing material inside, there's going to be cardboard that surrounds it to protect it. And there's also styrofoam on the inside of there as well. So I use every and anything.
All of it. It's amazing how the pieces are so beautiful that you would never know that it comes from somebody's garbage. But it doesn't look like
sometimes
that.
I like to have people, what do you think that was made from? Even though there's a little card down there that says what it's made from, but it's good to see what someone else well, maybe that was this or that. And one piece, I intentionally put something that it was made with, so that somebody can look. If they're looking at the card, they'll say, "Well, where is that? Where did she use this?" And it's not there. It's just to see if you can spot what things are made with the recycled materials.
Wow, cool. And I see even your cards are recycled. They're all
Everything's
cardboard.
recycled.
That's
great. Right.
So let's talk about some of the individual pieces that are in the exhibit, like some of your favorites. I know mine, what was that one that was called? It was called
Rockout.
Rockout. That was the one. Let's talk about Rockout.
Okay, so Rockout is basically a young lady who's listening to probably tunes, and she's just rocking out to the music, and sometimes teenagers or some adults as well, they like that hard rock kind of music. Preferably, I like jazz. But the people, and it was so that there's something in the exhibit for everybody. You know, it was created with paper bag handles that for the hair, and
That I have to I have to stop you. I love that. I never would have thought of using those. And talk about how you made them curly.
okay, so you take a bag handle, straighten it out a little bit, and I wrapped it around a pencil, held it there for a while, and then it'll curl naturally. Now, if the bag handle is too flimsy, it won't take shape. But if it's stiff enough, it will take the shape, and it'll start out like this on the pencil, and then when you take it off, it kind of stretches out a little bit. And as in rock out, you know, like if you curl your hair and you go to in heat, in mist, in rain, it kind of starts to droop.
Yeah.
She's drooping.
Oh yeah, I saw it. That's so right. What else did you do for that piece?
The other thing that was done for that piece was an old hat, and the hat was cut in half, and she's, you know, holding the hat like this, and then her wrists are just pieces of cardboard, but it was wrapped so that you can see the indentation of that, and she's just holding her hat.
And the nail polish.
and the plastic for the fingernails, and that's painted over with nail polish.
Wow, very cool. And let's talk about, there's just so many pieces in there, and it's just so great. Oh, Obama also, loved Obama. Talk about that one.
Okay, so Obama, he is front and center in most people's minds nowadays as our first black president. But he always talked about change. And on the side of him, he has letters that were derived from the word garden. So I cut them apart, and it was found at a thrift shop, cut them apart and made the word change out of it. In one of the letters, I had to piece that wood together, but nevertheless, he talked about change. There's a quote from him on the side of it in the shape of an African, the continent Africa. And his tie was made from packing material. The buttons are recycled. And then basically his body is just cardboard and painted. So as an artist, you know, I do paint. So it's incorporates painting, it incorporates sculpture, and you know, it's just being able to create is my thing.
It's very beautiful. And then you have this other homage to bald beauty. Can you talk about that whole section? Several women and men who are dealing with baldness.
Well, women and men deal with baldness, and sometimes you can be dealing with it personally as well, and you can overcome it at times. It depends on your treatment, etc. I started seeing different people that had alopecia, which I didn't know it was alopecia that they had, and one of our senators, she has it, and one day she just decided she's going to just let it all hang out. And when she did that, I was like, oh, wow. You know, maybe I can do something that is an homage to baldness. And like I said, women and men have it, but you see mostly women with it. And I started out with, as you'll see in the exhibit, is with just women that have it. But as I read on it, it occurred to me that, you know, it can be from a lot of different things. It could be stress, it could be medication, it can be just a lot of different things that can cause it. Medications that interact with each other. And I put on the Bald Beauty wall the 7 different types of things that you need to look at for that. And it can be, in some cases it can be reversed, but in some cases it can't. You know, personally, I think that, you know, some types of medication can help it. Some types of creams and things like that. I started making my own hair grease from this type of thing, and that has helped.
That's great. And what I love about it is that you're teaching people, it's not just teaching them about art and even like the other stuff about teaching them how to use reclaimed objects, but you're teaching them about something very important and, you know, that people live with and face.
And right, and during the exhibit, I will have some sheets of information that's on the wall that people could actually take with them.
That's great.
So I have that too.
Beautiful. And then, that's not all. You also have pieces with driftwood. I felt like that hall was like, you know, taking a trip to Long Island beaches. You know? Beautiful, like wind chimes, and talk about how you make those and what that's, you know.
Well, I call it when I go driftwooding. And driftwooding is just going to the lakes and streams, rivers, and collecting driftwood. Driftwood washes ashore, and it's there for the picking. There's some beautiful shapes and things that you can actually see what it is as you're taking them. So it just comes from rivers and streams. It's also mixed with pieces that are taken or gotten found at thrift shops and sidewalk sales and people who are doing yard sales. So there, once again, trash to treasure.
Yeah.
So that's where I take it from. And there's spinners. Spinners are just driftwood pieces that will, if you hang them, they'll just spin as the wind blows them. And then the chimes are chimes. They have a noise and they ring.
Yeah. And I see some early pieces in the work, in the gallery space too, some African masks that you created. That was your first work?
That's what started it all. I said I will try and do an African mask, and the very first one is the mask number 1, which has the long hair on it with some teeth, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, I like that teeth.
So yeah, those were the first pieces that I did, and then I graduated to doing women and different types of animals and things like that.
Yeah. Now, do you hope that people walk away from your art with some connection between sustainability and art, or you know, some message? Are you looking to?
Well, I would like people to walk away thinking that the next piece of cardboard they see can be turned into a piece of art. And just like whatever's in the gallery that they see, it was once a flat piece of cardboard, and that's all it was. So if you can come away with that, you know, I would love for people to leave here and go home and create something. You know, one of my biggest things that I would like to do is to have not only a bigger studio, but a studio that I can invite people in and they can come in and create something too. Bring your cardboard with you. Bring your trash.
Right. That would be cool,
You know,
actually.
yeah.
A fun thing. Okay, what are the challenges of working with trash?
Well, there's not too many challenges because I don't pick like cardboard that is soiled or stained or something like that, because you can get cardboard anywhere, and it's not much of a challenge. The challenge is, okay, what am I going to make out of this piece of cardboard today? That's the challenge, and then once I come up with that, it takes off.
Yeah. But then it's like, how do you, like, what am I going to use for the hair? What am I going to use?
Right,
you know?
right. And then everything just kind of comes along. Am I going to use the bag handles for hair? Am I going to give it no hair? Am I going to use synthetic hair? Am I going to use something that has maybe curlers on it or something like that? I never know.
And all right, the opposite of challenges, what are the rewards of working with this medium?
The rewards are peace of mind. I can go in the studio, think of things, my studio. There can be things that are, you know, going on. There's challenges, you know, in the world or wherever. But I can go in my studio, and it's like going into a whole new world. I can either play music, I can watch television, I can maybe Netflix, I can do whatever I want to do in that space. And I think that's a big reward of having peace of mind and somewhere to go and create.
Right.
That's a big reward for me. Love it.
Now, you talked about the early pieces, and that's how you evolved to the pieces that are now the other pieces that you're working on. Now, how do you see your work evolving in the future?
Well, like I mentioned before, it started out on a small scale. It graduated to maybe a little larger scale, but now it's the next thing that I do. It's going to be on a much larger scale because the pieces are going to be anywhere from, I'd say, 4.5, 5 feet to 9. So that's going to be a challenge for the studio because the ceiling is only but so high. But I kind of figured out in my mind how I'm going to do it. But that's what I would like to do, is to create on a larger scale and even maybe display different places, you know.
Didn't you tell me about some place that you are going to be displaying in?
Yes, so this is going to be a while. It's quite a few years off, but at the Greenburgh Public Library, I'm supposed to exhibit there. And that's going to be maybe in about 3 or 4 years. So it's kind of a long ways away, but I'm preparing now.
That's great. And what you told me a little bit about what you vision now anyway for that, some kind of a historical perspective.
Oh, so it's supposed to be in a Black History Month. And the title that I've given it so far is Black Folk. So it's going to start out with a huge clock. I'm trying to figure out now how I can make it actually sound like it's ticking. So that'll be a challenge. But it's going to be on like I said, a bigger scale, and the time of it is 12. It starts out in Africa, and then it 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It goes through different Black genres and people's lives.
Cool, that'll be really nice. Well, you have a lot of time to prepare for it, but it sounds fabulous.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show.
Now, I see your work is for sale, and I know that we're going to be putting your website and information for people on how to contact you, because you do commissions as well, right?
Yes, I do commissions. One of the pieces that I'm going to put up today, matter of fact, was a commissioned piece like 3 years ago. So, but yes, I do take commissions.
How do you go about promoting yourself? I know you told me that you first took a spot at the Greenburgh Artists and Crafters market, and since then you've done other markets.
Actually, that was my first one, and I did a Methodist church down the street. That was a Saturday and a Sunday, and then I did one at my house. And that's been it. And then here I am. So
I guess you have to get to more markets and more fairs. But you have a website? I know, I saw the website. Do you do any other marketing, like on Facebook or on
Not really.
Instagram?
This is all like kind of new to me, really, to be honest. I do Instagram. My daughter, she's helping set that up.
Yeah, it's good to have young people in your life.
And she set it up as drift_studio_by_Tanya. So that's set up. And I'm going to be trying to do some more social media.
Right. Well, I have a final signature question for you that I ask all the artists. How do you, Tanya, measure your own success in the arts? What is your measure for success?
Well, my measure for success is to be seen, to be purchased, and commissioned. I talked to my daughter about that earlier today, and though I said I have to get a T-shirt that says that. But that's my success. Like, for example, the first show, I consider the show, the vending that I did for the Crafters Market. I sold my very first piece that day.
Wow.
And that was exciting. And that for me, that was success. because I've always done everything at home in the studio and not really shown anything. First time, first sell, and that was, for me, a measure of success. And then to get to this point here in Town Hall and have a solo show, I've arrived.
Oh, yay. Well,
So I'm happy.
that's beautiful. Thank you so much for being here today. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed meeting you, and I love the exhibit. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I want to also thank Paul Feiner, all the people who helped make these TV shows possible. Sarah Bracey White, Janelle Wallace, and of course Terrence Brosnan. This beautiful exhibit will be up through December 30th, and there will be an opening on October 19th, Saturday, from 1 to 3. Do yourself a favor and come, because it is truly a spectacular exhibit.
Yes, come on down.